What is up, y'all? This is JT. What I have in front of me is the Ridgid 12-inch dual bevel sliding miter saw. I have the Hercules as well, and they're right around the same price range, so I wanted to see if this one was better. If this one's better, I'm going to keep it. But I had an issue with the last Hercules, and I haven't used the one that replaced it yet, so that's why I'm doing this. And I've already got the straps cut and the tape cut, so let's just get into the unboxing. I'm not going to show you all the specs on it, but it's got some decent specs. You can find the specs online if you want to. We are just going to do an unboxing. So it's got your upper fences, and this is actually the saw underneath. I do believe it's got a friction clamp. You just kind of slide it in, and the pressure from the clamp actually holds it in. It does come with a 60-tooth carbide, I guess just regular blade, and this has the teeth where they are actually, they're leaned back a little bit, which I think is different than, say, the Diablo. I think actually lean forward. So let me get this top part out of here. It's kind of a pain. So as you can see, I've got quite a project going on here in this house. So I got wood, stack of lumber underneath there. There's some 2x8, 2x6, and 2x4, all treated. And here is the saw. Not to lose or ruin any of that. We uncover it. It's pretty nice. Now I will have to pause again to get this out of here, because this saw, it weighs about somewhere around 53 to 56 pounds. And I will do that very quickly and come back. So as you can see, it comes with industrial zip ties kind of holding it together. If you can get your knife blade in between here, you can actually remove them without breaking them. And I'm going to do that real quick. Alright, well, they had that one on way too tight, so I just had to cut it. But just really quick, let me get this box out of the way. Really quick, the build quality on this is pretty substantial. Snap that up. Just push this button. Got nice positive stops. Doesn't seem to be too much wiggle. I mean, if there's any wiggle, there's none when it's locked. Ugh. And when you push this button down, you can actually turn that off altogether and just do it yourself, which is nice. I'm not sure if this has an extended cut. Some of these saws, if you put a sacrificial board underneath, you can actually do a longer cut, but I'm not sure if this one's set up to do that or not. I know the DeWalt's do, and other ones like that. And then flip this back, and then boom, you're right in your step. See how good it slides? Well, it's not going to slide really great, but the cord's stuck. It's not too incredibly bad. To release it, use this little pull-out knob. Ooh, the blade guard The blade guard action is fantastic. Better than the Hercules. I would definitely say. And this has a secondary blade guard right here that actually is spring loaded, and it goes up for when you're doing like a thicker cut down that way. And if I can find a piece of board really quick, let me find a piece of 2x8 that's cut. Okay, I found this is a squared up chunk that I was testing another saw on. So there's a nip missing out of this side, but you can see this is a 2x6 behind it, and the 2x6, it'll cut all the way through. I'm not sure if this will make it through a 6x6. Only time will tell, but I don't have one, so I can't really tell you. So what we're gonna do is put the 2x8 with a little nip missing right here. So hard to film with one hand. As you can see, it might make it through a 2x8. The Hercules with a 2x8, which is 7 1/4 to 7 3/8, flat against the fence, it will actually cut vertically, which I thought was amazing. This centerpiece right here is a little bit nicer than the Hercules. I'm gonna compare it a lot to the Hercules because that's the other saw that I own right now, and one of them's going back. The deflection on there is a little bit of tension wobble, and let me get the blade on it. Okay, so this is pretty nifty. The tool is actually on the reverse, or I mean the rear handle, and then I don't think that locks. Oh, it does. It locks. Once it goes past a certain point, it sticks. So then there's a spindle lock right here, and we're going to, well, we can't loosen it without the spindle lock being pushed. Alright, so I got the stock Ridgid blade on there. I do not want to ruin this, so I'm not going to saw anything that is possibly going to damage it. I gotta get it tightened on there, because obviously it's loose. And then we'll check for some blade wobble. Okay. There's no noticeable blade wobble as of yet. And of course the saw is not plugged in. So let me go do that real quick, and then we'll spin it up a couple times. This one has a nice little base crown stop, so if you're doing certain cuts, you know, you're just going into a baseboard or crown, then it does that. So this only stays up, but as soon as you push the saw, it actually flops down. And the switch light is right here, and it's a relatively bright light. Love it. And let's see what she sounds like. So there is like a vibration sound when it comes to the actual stopping of the blade, but during the operation of the blade, I notice absolutely nothing. Get this back in the spot. It's actually got multiple places you can click that. So right there, right there, right there, and then back to normal. Okay, so I've got a piece of non-treated. I really don't want to gum up this blade because it's actually a finished blade, or somewhat of a finished blade. We're going to pop the crown stop down, and we're just going to do a straight down chop. The shadow line on this, it's not visible very much till you get right on the wood, but it's visible enough to get you in the ballpark. And once you're on the wood, that's amazing. Which is very similar to the Hercules, but this one seems to be a little bit more definitive. So here's the first cut. Not bad, very clean cut. Let's do the same thing again. And this clamp works really well, by the way. So I'm going to do the same thing again. Shouldn't have cut so much off the first time, I guess. And we're going to do like most people do. We're going to zip in and kind of see if there's any sort of irregularity in the blades. As you can see, just from a tiny bit of flex, and you're gonna get this on any saw, trust me, doesn't matter. And I don't think I'm actually, no I'm not. I am not zeroed out on the bevel, so I was wondering why I was cutting crooked. And it does have positive stop, that's on 0. And then you can lock this, this is the thing. You can do it this way. Both ways. Very nice. So far my impressions are that this saw is really pretty good. But let's check the blade for any sort of a wobble. See if I can actually focus on the blade. Maybe it'd be easier to see it down here. Like this. I don't notice any, so far so good. I don't have my square on me, so I can't check that. But other than that, this seems like a decent saw, and the friction clamp is actually really nice because it just slides in. Slide it in, push it down, boom, you're ready to go. The Hercules one is kind of a pain in the butt, I would say. So what I'm going to actually do, let's zoom out, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this saw up against the Hercules, and we're going to see which one's better, because that's what I want to know, so that I can make the proper purchase. And by the way, when this goes to mount, there's no rubber feet underneath here, so when you go to mount it to your stand, you're not going to have those rubber feet deflecting out on the actual mounts for your stand. And I should have had a stand as well, but as of now I don't. So that'll be something in the future. I actually wanted to get the Ridgid stand, and one thing I forgot to mention, because I'm completely just going at random, there is a depth switch right here. So you pull this out, and then you can set your depth with this turn screw here. So you can do specific depths. You can see how that hits. Ding! And then you can just push this out of the way, which it still kind of hits. So I like the one on, oh, yuck. That just came out of nowhere. I like the one on the Hercules better when it comes to that. But like I said, I'm gonna put these saws against each other. It doesn't seem to have any arm flex other than like me just forcing it. But I'm gonna do a quick out of the box square test. This has already been squared, so it's already been completely squared. And before we do that, let me set this up. So this board I squared up on another saw. It's completely square, and as you can see, it's completely square. Now if I flip it, no, if I flip it this way, this one's gonna be a little bit more off, but what I'm gonna do off camera is see if it will do this, because I only nicked just a very small amount off of this. This is a 2x8, and I'm gonna see if it will actually, which it appears it should, cut through a 2x8. It did do a vertical cut through a 2x8. This is what it left. So I'm not sure if it's zeroed out here. It is. Oh, that's right. I wasn't on the square side. That's what it was. So if I'm on the square side down, and I really wish I could film this, and I don't have the upper fence on either, so I'm just trying to hold it like this. It kind of goes through a 2x8, but the Hercules has a little bit more depth when it comes to like a baseboard. So like I said, we're gonna put that all to the test against each other. I'm making sawdust all over my brand new treated wood, but I don't know. There, I just did it for a second time, and this is on a treated piece of wood, by the way, which is probably gumming up the blade. Yeah, it's already starting to gum up the blade, and that's only like 2 or 3 cuts in. That's why I don't like to use fine tooth blades on treated wood, so I'm gonna stop using this blade for treated wood. But it will make it through a 2x8, which is technically 7 1/4 to about 7 3/8. But it's not comfortable once you get so far down. It actually hits against this and something on this side, possibly this. So you kind of gotta, you have to finagle it a little bit. Let me get this stupid blade guard to stop. That's one of the things you also have to deal with, is the blade guard. You have to finagle it just to land right in this spot. And then on the back side, obviously, it just barely makes it through, which is really close. I don't even know if it does. I think the Hercules actually has a little bit lower cut, so we'll have to find that out. But for now, that's the unboxing. The fences, they just slide in. Of course, if you loosen the knob, they just slide in like that. That's crazy. Huh. Oh, you can't even tighten them down until they're so far back. So, and they're kind of wobbly. Once it's tight, it's tight. But that's really weird. Have to get more detail on the next video. So, as for now, I think that's good enough. I mean, I've already covered the rails in sawdust, so obviously I should have put the bag on. Oops, forgot to do that. So that's just the unboxing and just showing you a little bit of the newer, hopefully it's a newer saw because the old ones were having a lot of problems. And we'll see how it goes. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I'm going to be putting this saw to the test.